we stopped at the pillars, the essentials for marriage. And the scholars say that the arkan, the pillars for a valid marriage are three. Now, you remember we said that there are what is known as pillars, there are conditions, and there are other things that are mandatory in the nikah, in the marriage. So the pillars that without the marriage would be invalid are as follows. The first one is to have the marriage taking place without having any obstacles. So the two parties, the wife and the husband, should be free of any reason that prevents a marriage. And we spoke about that earlier when we were talking about the conditions of marriage. Such obstacles would be that they are siblings. The man and the girl were breastfed by the same woman, for example. With the conditions, of course, known as we will come and discuss later on, inshallah. Marrying a woman while being married to her niece or to her aunt. This is not permissible. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited combining between a woman and her niece. Marrying two sisters. This is not permissible. As mentioned in the Quran in chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa. Marrying someone who is of a different religion that we cannot marry from. So a man cannot marry a Hindu woman, a Buddhist, an atheist. He can only marry a Muslim, a Jew, or a Christian woman. And a Muslim woman cannot marry anyone who's not Muslim. So all of these are obstacles that prevent marriage from taking place. The second pillar is what is known as proposal. And the proposal happens from the woman's guardian. And we said that the guardian is the father. And we mentioned that this is one of the conditions of marriage, to have a guardian. But we have a guardian. A pillar of nikah, of marriage, that the guardian gives the proposal by saying, I give you my daughter in marriage. In the conditions we said proper identification. So if he has 5 daughters, saying I give you my daughter in marriage is not valid. He has to identify the eldest, the youngest, her name, by a description that cannot be ambiguous. This is known as the proposal. In Arabic it's called ijab. And the third pillar is acceptance, al-qabul. And this is done by the groom or those who represent him. Now in the midst of COVID-19, a lot of marriages have been postponed and delayed due to lack of travel, due to, the reasons. So I get a lot of calls from a brother and a sister living in America, and the father is in India or in Africa, and they cannot travel to conduct the marriage. So can they do it through Skype? So the father calls the boy and he says, I give you my daughter in marriage, and he names his daughter, the groom must say, I accept her marriage to myself.